Y'all forget I am the leader. They want to hear from the mayor. If y'all ain't learned that yet. The mayor, not the trustees that don't do nothing, that only run their mouth. Y'all don't do no work, no work.
After the union went without one for 4 years, firefighters blaming Mayor Henyard for numerous canceled bargaining sessions.
The trustees did what they had to do, and it was slam dunk. Everything went very well.
This is our community. We need to take it back, and we will continue to fight as we've been doing for the last 3.5 years.
But everything we do for the people. But we under attack. We getting scrutinized in the media. For what? Loving on the people? Showing them that they matter to us? We going through the fires for you.
The small village of Dalton, Illinois is in turmoil, with Mayor Tiffany Henyard at the center of a growing crisis. Recent shouting matches, controversial appointments, and heated trustee disputes have pushed the village to the brink. The once manageable leadership issues have escalated into a full-blown battle over Dalton's future. As crime rises and infrastructure deteriorates, both the mayor and trustees are blaming each other, while residents demand accountability. In a dramatic outburst at a recent trustee meeting, Mayor Henyard accused her colleagues of being the true cause of the village's problems.
WGN Investigates has an update on dysfunction in Dalton, where local leaders are fighting over transparency, spending, and safety. Now the South Suburbs' controversial mayor is firing back, and it all played out at a public meeting last night.
Y'all forget I am the leader. They want to hear from the mayor. If y'all ain't learned that yet. The mayor, not the trustees that don't do nothing, that only run their mouth. Y'all don't do no work, no work.
Tiffany Henyard considers herself something of a crusader, but one who's clearly annoyed by questions from a rebellious group of Dalton trustees who are in a standoff with her over spending.
At the end of the day, vendors are not being paid. Board approved it. The vendors are not being paid.
How about you be a good leader, bring RFPs to the forefront, so not just us, but the residents and everybody else in America know how the money is being.
This isn't the first time Mayor Henyard has expressed her frustrations, but her recent remarks took a personal turn. In a stunning accusation, Henyard claimed that the Black trustees should be ashamed for targeting her, emphasizing her identity as a Black woman in power. Meanwhile, Dalton's streets are deteriorating and crime is surging. Henyard blames the trustees' budget cuts for the village's decline, while the trustees argue that her management is the real issue.
Everything we do for the people. But we under attack. We getting scrutinized in the media. For what? Loving on the people? Showing them that they matter to us? We going through the fires for y'all.
Henyard calls her critics grandstanders who should get in line.
And y'all should be ashamed of y'all. Y'all black. Y'all are black. And y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a Black woman that's in power. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves.
Dalton's difficulties got worse in recent weeks with water main breaks. Henyard blames on trustee budget cuts. Then 4 people were shot and injured last week, leaving nerves frayed, and Henyard's opponents pointing out her sizable security detail.
It's unfortunate that politics are being played, but what has happened is $1 million out of my budget has been cut because of politics.
We're not saying the police is not doing a good job. What we're saying is you're assigning all of them to be with you when they should be out here protecting the residents so we can all.
For Dalton's residents, the issue isn't about race or gender. It's about effective leadership. With public infrastructure failing and crime rates climbing, they are demanding accountability. For many, that accountability points directly to Mayor Henyard.
Residents are taking notice. Some spoke for and others against the mayor.
But, you know, we got the mayor here, meeting with the president of the United States. Everyone's seen the picture. That's a big deal. That is great promotion for this city, for this town.
Ladies and gentlemen, be civil. Do things right. Think of the residents. You are here to represent the residents and not yours.
The village attorney has confirmed that Henyard's appointments of new staffers violated the municipal code, adding to the legal troubles. Additionally, a rarely seen Dalton trustee, who had previously remained neutral, made a rare appearance. This trustee, now visibly frustrated with Henyard, appeared to side with the other trustees who are increasingly exasperated with the mayor's actions.
That's new at 10 tonight. Dalton's embattled mayor addressing the public and taking new action involving village officials. Tonight's regularly scheduled Board of Trustees meeting was canceled because there weren't enough trustees present. But Mayor Tiffany Henyard still showed up and appointed a new village administrator and a new village attorney. Trustee Jason House telling us those appointments are not valid and the appointees will not be paid. Now, this comes on the same day that Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul's office issued a binding opinion saying that Dalton repeatedly violated the Open Meetings Act this summer. The AG is ordering Dalton to make all future meetings convenient and open to the public, and that includes ensuring there is enough space and not closing streets or putting up parking barricades.
A significant conflict arose with Keith Freeman, a former ally of Mayor Henyard who became a whistleblower. After Freeman's indictment, the trustees blocked Henyard's attempt to fire him, retaining him as a key player in the struggle against her. During a meeting in Henyard's absence, the trustees began to address village affairs more effectively, including submitting overdue financial reports to the state comptroller. Meanwhile, Henyard's actions had already caused the village's bank to close its account, advising them to find a new bank for their funds.
New at 10, a chaotic meeting of trustees in South Suburban Dalton. There are questions about following protocols in hiring, and now the village needs to find a new bank. Our Jermont Terry has the latest chapter of Dalton's dysfunction.
Another month and Dalton Village trustees sit down to handle business, not at City Hall, but at the Parks Field House. Absent from the monthly board meeting, Mayor Tiffany Henyard, but present for the first time, Trustee Stanley Brown.
Now, I have residents that said come to this meeting, some said don't come to this meeting.
Brown hasn't sided with the 4 trustees previously who've been outspoken about the mayor's lack of accountability.
I'm not here jumping ship, or I never was on the ship to jump a ship. Always been here.
Earlier this month, Trustee Brown did leave when the mayor continued on with a board meeting despite not having enough trustees to do so. The city attorney making it clear any action taken wasn't legal. And that meeting, Henyard appointed a new village manager.
It's our legal opinion that the mayor failed to follow the municipal.
Henyard's financial controversy has had far-reaching consequences. Beyond the administrative issues, Dalton's firefighters have been working without a contract for months. Henyard's repeated disregard for their requests for negotiations has left them in a prolonged state of uncertainty.
Thursday night, the board made it clear they never approved the hiring of a new village manager, adding since Keith Freeman, the current village manager, was indicted for falsifying his income taxes for a bankruptcy filing and now working with the federal investigators, Freeman is now doing his job.
We are able to get things done. Keith Freeman is finally doing the right thing, and he's protected by the Whistleblowers Act. They want to remove him.
Back in August, this Illinois State Comptroller decided to freeze funds to the village because it had not received audits or financial reports for 2 fiscal years. Yet now,
So now we're in the process of doing a reconciliation of the previous fiscal year.
It was also revealed that the village's bank was so fed up with the back and forth and irregularities, it ordered the bank to close its account and take their business elsewhere, which leaves the village just 60 days to transfer whatever funds are available to a new bank. Reporting in Dalton, Jermont Terry, CBS News, Chicago.
In a rare moment of progress during a special meeting where Henyard was notably absent, the trustees successfully negotiated a swift contract with the firefighters. This achievement stands out amid the ongoing leadership crisis that has otherwise plagued the village.
Continued turmoil in Dalton has led to more issues coming from first responders. The Dalton firefighters spoke out during Monday night's board meeting, saying the department hasn't had a contract with the village in 5 years. The local firefighters union says the village refuses to negotiate with them on a new contract. Health insurance premiums were another issue, with reps saying members and family members' claims are being denied and sent to collections.
We'll continue to serve despite the fact our health insurance is not being paid, our retirement funds are being taken from us, and workers' compensation claims are not being handled properly. These are serious issues and they need to be addressed and fixed immediately.
As one of the many issues that's forced residents to speak out against Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard, problems have led to our board to seek an investigation into the mayor's actions, most recently appointing former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot as a special investigator. Now the Attorney General's office officially ruled the investigation will be allowed.
Because I've been here for 30 years. This is the worst I've ever seen this village. I am appalled to even be a resident.
When the circus come to town, the clowns come out, and I'm looking at you.
The tension between the mayor and the trustees has been evident in every meeting, with many residents noting that progress seems to occur more readily when Henyard is absent. In fact, the trustees have achieved more without her presence than with it. This has led some to question whether her leadership is a hindrance rather than help. Henyard's problematic behavior at meetings, where she deflects demands for transparency by accusing the trustees of orchestrating a smear campaign against her, is partly to blame.
I'm not going to stop until she's behind bars.
And at some point, she is going to have to answer to some of this stuff.
Without Henyard present, the trustees taking sweeping action, approving a temporary moratorium on travel and meal reimbursement for elected officials and employees, amending rules on check signing requirements, and approving 18 business licenses that trustees say had been held up.
We have real issues that need to be addressed, and that's what we're here to do and move this community forward.
The board also approving a new firefighter contract that it negotiated with its attorney through 2027 after the union went without one for 4 years. Firefighters blaming Mayor Henyard for numerous canceled bargaining sessions.
The trustees did what they had to do, and it was slam dunk. Everything went very well.
Trustees also finalizing action to fire Deputy Police Chief Louis Lacey, seen here at a previous meeting. Lacey pleaded not guilty last month to federal bankruptcy fraud charges. And that same day, Henyard and Lacey were recorded telling officers he's still in charge of the department. But now the state agency which certifies police officers lists Lacey as inactive, with an August 14th separation date from Dalton Police.
This is our community. We need to take it back, and we will continue to fight as we've been doing for the last 3.5.
The controversy continued at a Thornton Township meeting where Henyard launched into another tirade. She accused the trustees of rejecting funding for her events out of pure animosity.
Good evening. There were many tense moments in tonight's meeting. At times, Supervisor Tiffany Henyard took on her fellow trustees when it came to money and expenses, even accusing some of them of spreading lies about her.
Please tell me how you're out of order. You're out of order. How do they operate, trustees? How do they operate?
There were countless interactions just like this, elevated voices and heated debates about spending and the lack of a new budget. Several of the trustees questioned much of the township's spending, while Henyard says she's cleaned its finances up.
Y'all thought that I was young, dumb, didn't know nothing, was gonna let y'all come and manipulate me. I didn't do any of that. So because I didn't do any of that, you guys started this whole smear campaign.
At one point in this 3-hour meeting, Supervisor Henyard demanded Finance Director Robert Hunt read through more than 100 line items that many trustees wanted to get rid of. For example, thousands of dollars to Amazon,
$169.99.
thousands of dollars of cakes for community events,
102 Calumet Bakery,
and tens of thousands of dollars that were allegedly allocated for the one-day event, The Taste of...
And if you thought the situation couldn't get any worse, it did in a stunning development, allowing a child sex offender to work within Dalton's administration. Yes, you heard that right. This scandal has added yet another layer of concern for the residents, who now not only question the mayor's leadership, but also her judgment.
We just had a couple events here in the past, month or so, that just extraordinary amount of money was spent unnecessarily.
As for upcoming events, the trustees voted to stop a few, including House Fest and Gospel Fest. Henyard accused the trustees of acting out of spite.
And right now, you guys are operating with hatred in your hearts. You're operating out of feelings. You're not operating with things that's going on, and I don't think that's fair to us. And I don't understand why it's a problem when we got a surplus in Thornton Township thanks to Supervisor Tiffany Henyard once again.
Lexi Suter, NBC5 News.
Unfortunately, Tiffany Henyard has a history of mishandling serious issues. A few months ago, she reportedly assisted trustee Andrew Holmes in covering up a sexual abuse incident involving a village employee. When Holmes and Henyard allegedly attempted to bury the matter, the victim ultimately filed a lawsuit.
My next appointment will be for village administrator.
Last night, Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard appointed a new top aide to a $100,000 a year job without board consent. 34-year-old Michael A. Smith, who's been active in South suburban politics for years.
The reason for Mike is he have a wealth of great information. He's a young person and ex-politician. He knows the laws like the back of his hand.
Perhaps that's because Smith has been in and out of trouble with the law for years. Public reporting shows Smith has been charged at least 8 times with crimes ranging from domestic battery to official misconduct. In 2012, Smith, then a young trustee in Dixmoor, resigned after pleading guilty to theft when he allegedly stole gasoline by posing as a police officer. Then in 2018, Smith was working as an assistant dean at Thornton Fractional High School when he was fired for sexual harassment of a female student, grooming a student with lascivious intent, and inappropriate aggressive behavior towards a male student.
Things began to unravel for Tiffany and the accused when the victim came forward with a video detailing the events.
According to the suit, after dinner and walking the Las Vegas Strip with Trustee Holmes, Fania felt disoriented and ultimately blacked out.
Until my last memory was me waking up in his room.
The suit details a conversation between Fania and Officer Byron Miles when they returned from Las Vegas. Miles was a member of Henyard's security detail at the time. He claimed Holmes told him he had unprotected sex with Fania in Las Vegas. The suit also alleges Holmes, in a video call to Officer Miles, showed Fania partially undressed in his hotel bed. Officer Miles advised Fania to seek medical care, according to the lawsuit.
You're the only person that stood up for me. Opened your mouth.
According to the lawsuit, Fania claims she was fired shortly after bringing the accusation against Holmes to Henyard. Officer Miles was removed from his role in the mayor's security detail and demoted to patrol duty. Miles has also filed a civil lawsuit, and the Department of Human Rights launched an investigation. The village told us in a statement it conducted a thorough investigation into the allegations led by an independent third party. It goes on to say Officer Miles was interviewed and denied knowing anything about the allegations. Ms. Dukes refused to cooperate with our investigation, it says. This is nothing more than 2 disgruntled village employees trying to make off with taxpayers' hard-earned dollars. The village looks forward to defending these allegations.
Lawsuits, scandals, and budget mismanagement mount. Dalton is left in desperate need of help.
The other assistant, being in our modes of being an assistant, we're saying stuff out loud, especially if the mayor's there, 'cause she's always doing something, so she wants to hear what we have while she's doing something or whatever. So now that assistant, she'll always say, okay, well, we got this upcoming trip, and then she said the dates, and she said May 21st, and I was like, that's my 31st birthday. I've never been there. I didn't necessarily know if I was going or not, but I definitely said I want to make that trip. So Tiffany was, telling me, like, this is not, no trip like that. Like this, we're going down there for business. And I said, well, I definitely understand, but I still never been in the vicinity of Vegas. So even if I could just be there and it's my birthday, I would still feel good. But I was like, how hard I work anyway, so I'm not even worried about that. And that was the conversation. This is our last night in Vegas. When we clock out, isn't anybody hitting the strip with me? It's my birthday. And everybody said no, or they had something else to do, but Andrew. Miles did say that if he's done doing whatever he was doing, he'll catch up with us. Okay, so fine, but I at least knew I got a man with me, I'm gonna make it home. I ain't even gotta worry about try to go on the strip by myself. I legitimately thought that, I was gonna make it home. Until my last memory was me waking up in his room.
The village's leadership crisis has severely impacted its residents, finances, and future. Dalton stands at a crossroads, with residents anxiously watching and hoping for change. One thing is certain, the fight for Dalton's future is far from over. That's all for now. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and for more updates, hit the bell icon.